Hey friends, it's David coming at you from Zone 5B in the southwest suburbs of Chicago, Illinois. And it is a glorious weekend, and it's been a minute since we spoke. Last week we had a lot of rainy weather, so I really didn't get outside and do much with the garden. But now the temperatures are starting to cool off. We're seeing temperatures in the 70s, upper 70s, low 80s. Overnight it is dropping down to like the 50s already here in Illinois. And I think it's the perfect time to do some maintenance with my tree forest behind us. One of the things that I noticed with my trees that I got this year is I had exponential growth on that one, which was one of the last ones I potted up. And the other one that I put in that half barrel container, while some of the other ones, even the ones that I've had for a year and put in this decent sized container, haven't seen the same amount of growth. Also, when I was remulching the other day, a couple weeks ago, I noticed that on one of them, I think it might have been this one, some of the roots were starting to come out the holes on the bottom. So what I wanted to do is get a lot of my trees up potted. Now that the temperatures have eased off just a little, but it's still warm, so it's still going to encourage that root growth before they go into dormancy in the winter. So I wanted to go with bigger pots. That includes my blood orange that I've had for over a year and my Meyer lemon. They're doing okay in the containers, but I think it's time to up pot them. And anytime you're in containers, you do want to keep that in mind, that you may have to up pot a time or two after a year, after 2 years, to give it room to grow. And then you reach a certain size and you can stop. And that'll help control how tall your trees are as well. I get this banana plant in a bigger container. Let me take off this dead leaf here. For the banana, I just don't know that I used a big enough container for it, especially now that we have the two shoots growing. The bigger one here that would become the banana plant next year, and then even this baby one that's getting really big. I think the container size I went with, while it seemed big at the time, just isn't big enough. So I am going to move that as well, and then maybe up pot one of my blueberries into its container. So for this banana plant, I just ordered and picked up this 26-inch half barrel for it. It is the biggest container. It's even bigger than that one. That was a 20-inch. This is a 26-inch. So this will give it room to grow. It is going to make it a lot heavier. So when it comes time to move it, I might need some assistance from my son to get it moved, because the banana is one of them that I'm going to move inside in the winter. A lot of the others, the apples, the peach, the nectarines, are a little more hardy, and they can probably survive in the garage on those nights when it gets really cold. But the banana, a little more tropical, I'm going to want someplace warmer. So it's going to come inside. For all of my other trees, for the best advice I could find, I'm a big fan of the Millennial Gardener's channel. He does a lot with trees, specifically figs, but he grows all kinds of fruits in containers, fruit trees in containers and in the ground. And a while ago, he recommended the 15-gallon nursery pots. And I went ahead and ordered 10 of them. Just so you can see, here is the container that I have this tree in. And there is the 15-gallon nursery pot next to it. So it is slightly bigger, right? Volume-wise, it's probably a lot bigger. But ultimately, it's just a couple inches taller, a couple inches wider, and a couple inches deeper. So I think this is going to work well for those trees that I'm going to up pot into it. Now, the only problem, the bigger the container, sometimes the bigger the drain holes, as you see in this half barrel. It has probably 1-inch drain holes. So I am using some mesh tape just to go over the drain holes. I want the water to be able to drain out, but I want to try to ensure that I don't lose potting soil through there as well. Now, once the potting soil gets wet, you're a little bit safer, but I do want to ensure. So I'm using the mesh. I already have it around the drain holes in my first container, and this beautiful tree, which is my sweet cherry, is going to be the first one that I up pot in. So I'm going to make sure not to bury it any deeper because, again, I want to be very mindful of the graft point right here. You see the white, that's that kaolin clay still on there, despite all the rain that I've had. Some of the kaolin clay is still on there. And I'm going to get this up potted. I don't know how many I'm going to be able to get to today. The weather is beautiful, but it is late in the afternoon. So I'm going to do at least a couple of these today. And then as we get a little deeper into late summer and approach early fall, I'm going to start thinking about pruning, doing some summer pruning, especially on the tree like this that has seen such growth like this. These two branches, one of these will go in the pruning. I will definitely cut a lot of these down and try to encourage more lateral growth. But that is going to be the video for another day. So today's goal, get at least a couple of these up potted, and I will be back to show you the results when I get them done. Stay tuned. All right, friends, I am back. I did manage to get 4 total trees up potted. As usual, when I start a project, I find that I underestimated the amount of material needed. So I didn't quite have enough potting soil. I do have a few more bags, but it's taking a lot because these are big pots. So now that I have them up potted, the 3 of them, and I did 2 of the apples and then the 1 cherry, and a nectarine, I am going to give them a good watering, and then I will cover them back up with mulch. But the big thing is to make sure to water them thoroughly, because that soil is going to be really, really dry. So you really want to soak it. What I like to do is get it super, super wet and then let it soak in for a few minutes and then come back and hit it again. And I will be looking to see if it comes out the drain holes on the bottom. That'll tell us that it should be pretty well watered. In addition to the soil, I did mix in some amendments. I have mixed in some azomite, which is a mineral that's good for trees. I mixed in a little bone meal to give it that kick to try to get the roots growing and established, and then some worm castings and some calcium, some tree calcium that came with my orders of trees. And hopefully this will get them off to a really good start. They were doing okay in the containers. Most of them were doing good in the containers they were in, with the exception of the Granny Smith apple. And hopefully now they'll just continue to thrive. And then next year, we'll see a ton of new growth and maybe some more fruiting. Because I did see some flowers early in the season on, I think it was one of the apple trees, but then they fell off, which is fine because it was still really, really young. So I'm hoping that with the move to the newer digs, that next year we will see growth and maybe some fruiting from at least my older ones. It's not unusual to get a bare root and to have to wait a couple years for it to fruit. But my peach, since my peach tree did fruit this year, and I still have the 1 peach on there, I'll show you guys in just a minute. I'm hoping that this new up potting for these trees are going to help a lot too. So I'm going to give it a good watering. I'm going to get it mulched, and then I'll be back in just a minute. Right, friends, you guys, I am back, and I am done for the day. So I have mulch. I did reuse the old mulch. That's why some of it looks darker. I watered these in really, really well. I actually had to water all my trees. And added that layer of mulch. And then I wet the mulch down too, just because I don't want it to blow away. So in the near future, hopefully in the next few days, I do have 1, 2, 3 more full-size trees to up pot into those giant containers. I have 2 citrus that are going to go in bigger containers than they're currently in, and then the banana. And with the banana, I have a choice to make. I can up pot this entire thing into a new container, or I can actually split these pips off and put those in their own container. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet on that one. And one last update for you guys. My peach tree here, which has been doing really, really well, has a beautiful peach still on it. So the peach has really grown lately with the hotter temperatures abating a little bit. So I am hopeful that this year I will have that one peach to try. Again, it's still really early in its life, so I wasn't too disappointed when the other ones on here fell off. I did thin them a little as well because, again, it is a pretty young tree, and you don't want your tree to expel a lot of energy on fruit production when it should be focusing on root growth and growing bigger itself. So those would be the next steps left. The cat's in the window. Those would be the next steps left for all of my trees before we hit the fall season. And that is to get them pruned, to try to direct some of the growth, especially the ones like this one. Again, this is one of my newest trees, but because it was in such a big container, it just really took off. And I'm hoping to see the same out of these ones that I'm up potting today. So there you have it. That is my weekend in a nutshell. In the garden, one of my marigolds died. The corn did produce, but I didn't get it in time. So that's ready to come out. I have my squash, didn't really work. That's ready to come out. My tomatoes are still going at it. My cucumbers are still producing like crazy. My peppers are still producing like crazy. And I'm still waiting on the ground cherries too. I'm a little disappointed with those. Although they had mad growth, I just haven't seen many results from it. So I don't know if I'm going to grow those next year. But that's what gardening is about. It's about trying new things, trying different things, seeing how it works for you, seeing what you like, and then adjusting from there. So hope you guys all had an amazing weekend. I hope you got out and enjoyed the weather or did whatever makes you happy. Hope you got your hands dirty like I did. I want to thank you guys for coming. Thank you for watching my video again. Remember, grow a little every day. Never stop growing. And make sure you come back here again soon. If you like my video, hit the like button for me, please. Don't forget to subscribe and share so other people know of the joy of my channel. And I can't wait to see you guys all back here again real soon on Come Grow with David A. Have a good week, everybody. See you soon.